first questions to ask when we're talking about human rights is, what are they? Put very simply, human rights are rights that you're entitled to simply because you are human. It's not something that can be earned or, in theory, something that can be taken away. When thinking about universal human rights, there's two main characteristics that we can associate with them. The first is universality. They're universal, so they apply to everyone. And again, in theory, you can't pick or choose which rights apply when. The second is equality. So that means that human rights are meant to apply equally to every person. In practice, this isn't always the case. And so this is when questions of equality really become questions of equity, of thinking about what needs to happen, what special provisions we might need to include in human rights legislation in order to make sure that everyone can access all of their human rights in an equal way. Human rights aren't necessarily required in order to live in a biological, physical sense, but they're needed in order to live a minimally good, safe, and secure life. Now, breaking down universal human rights that are currently legislated, we can break them down into two main categories. The first is civil and political liberties. Now, that's like things like the right to life, the right to vote, the right to freedom of assembly, the right to freedom of expression, and it's a prohibition from things like enslavement and torture. So rights are not just rights to particular things, but also freedoms from other harmful things. The second major category is economic, cultural, and social rights. Now, these are things like the right to work, the right to education, and even the things like the right to rest. So altogether, these make up the 30 universal human rights that are outlined in international law.